Well, hello. Guess what time it is? It is mini tour time. I'm going to take you through this little grow space in my home that has a bunch of plants. Go through them. I don't know necessarily the species of a lot of them, if they're hybrids. Some of them I do. But if you have any questions on any of them, reach out and we will talk. But starting here, aloe hybrid. You guys have probably seen this one in an older video. You can see this is one of the tree types that grows a nice trunk. And you can see if I pull back a little bit, here's my hand, for my real hand, for size comparison. You can see it's a pretty big tree-like aloe. Really pretty. Have that in regular soil. Have not repotted it since I got it 2 years ago, maybe 3. So yeah, doing really well. Moving along here, we have some of my Tradescantia brevifolia, Green Queen. No, not that, this one. These are just cuttings that are put into lava rock. There's a little reservoir at the bottom there, as you can see. And there's more Tradescantia right over here that's in water, but these are Blue Sioux, the Pelita Blue Sioux, because I have a million of these all over the place. But anyway, this is a type of Plectranthus. This is a trailing Plectranthus. Doesn't have a scent, but it grows very, very quickly and roots very, very easily. So this one is in water culture. You can see the roots down there. They're beautiful. It was in a different area, a different grower space that I have, and it wasn't doing so well, wasn't getting a lot of light, so I brought it up here where it gets the south-facing window, which is right over there, and we'll get there in a minute. And it's doing much better. Just warning you guys, this is going to be a long video, okay? And a lot of talking, so you'll have to deal with that. Anyway, moving down around here, we have another aloe. This one is in a Kokedama. It's got a bunch of pups. I have not done anything to separate them. It probably needs some water. It's pretty dry, as you can see. And there's some of my orchid medium. Yeah, so it's doing really well. Sometimes you could see, yeah, the roots are all over the place in this Kokedama. And yeah, this just kind of does its thing. And every time I water it, it has a little growth spurt. And then when it dries up, it kind of just slows down, which is fine. It's what we do with our succulents, right? A bunch of supplies back there, just ignore that. This is a struggling Aschenanthus lipstick plant. This one always would lose its leaves for me, and I don't know why. So I just kind of have it here. This leaf looks like it's next. It's not ready to let go yet, but so yeah, this one always loses its leaves. You'll see a bunch of other ones that are fine. I don't know why. This one's in lava rock, and I would say it's living, loving life and living its best life, but obviously it's not, because it always drops its leaves, and I don't know why. It's the only one. And speaking of lipstick plants, here's another one. I believe this is Gracilis, so Aschenanthus gracilis. Beautiful plant. I just love the pendant stems. They just kind of hang. They don't wrap around anything. They don't grab anything. They just kind of hang like hair. And this one is actually in the soil that it came in, which is very high perlite. And yeah, I've taken cuttings from this. It does really well. The only thing I have not had this plant do yet for me is bloom, and I don't know why. Probably because it's not getting enough light. The sun doesn't hit right here. It's bright during the day, but it's not bright enough to bloom. So yeah, there's that. Here we have another Plectranthus. This one is a hybrid. It's not confirmed what the parentage is, but a lot of people say it is Plectranthus sp species, and it is menthol eucalyptus. It's not the Vicks plant. It doesn't have that kind of a scent. It smells almost like menthol, more like eucalyptus than the menthol actually. So it grows very well. It grows crazy, and it roots very easily from stem cuttings. It's just going all over the place here. And I have it in the tiny little pot that it came in, still in the soil, because these guys just can deal with anything. As you can see, I'm gonna have to start harvesting some cuttings and making some of these plants available, because they're just really cool. They smell good. They're not overwhelming like the Vicks plant. I have to say the Vicks plant can be very overwhelming as far as fragrance is concerned. So I prefer this one. It grows better, faster, quicker, more succulent. So I love succulents. And it doesn't necessarily need as much light, because as you can see, even the new growth isn't all spindly yet, but it has a lot of leaves and it's really soft, and I just really like it. All right, moving along. Next up, we have this one that's hiding right here. This is one of my grape ivies. I think this is the rotundifolia, something like that. I can never remember the name of this one, but it is the round-leaved variety of Parthenocissus, I believe it is. Parthenocissus, rotund something. This one has just been in water culture, and it just kind of exists, you know what I mean? Every once in a while, it'll sprout out like this. You can see a new branch. This one stopped growing at the tip, but there's potential for more. Yeah, sometimes I forget to top it up with more water, so that could be the problem because I have too many plants. All right, moving on. Next one, we have an angel wing begonia that I recently took a cutting from. As you can see, there's a new branch growing here, but this was really, really tall, and this one gets very lanky, but I figured, you know what? Let's just let it do its thing over here now where I have it. Just ignore the spray bottle. And yeah, hasn't bloomed for me yet, but I'm thinking this one may have white flowers because I've seen similar species in stores that are blooming and they have little white flowers. So that's that one. And down here we have, you've seen this recently, this is my glacier, my Pothos Glacier, Epipremnum aureum glacier variety. Love that plant. Over here we have one of those begonias, the Brazilian, I think it's Brazilian begonia, something like that. Braziliensis, I think. This was just in a 2-inch pot, and I moved it into water culture, and as you can see, I have to top it up. The water ends here, and the roots are up there hitting the water, but this needs more water. Beautiful underleaf with that reddish color. Very easy. This one has fragrant blooms that are whitish, so that'll be interesting when it starts to bloom if I put it under the light, which it's not right now. Here we have Tradescantia pale puma. Some cuttings, because I have them everywhere. Just in water. They thrive in water for years and years and years and years. I don't know, maybe indefinitely. I'll let you know when the end of indefinitely happens, but I have some in there for many years, and they do great. They do fantastic. But this one obviously is not getting a lot of light, so the new growth is green and a little bit etiolated. It's reaching, stretching, but I don't mind it. You can see this is the color and the texture of the plant when it's been in full sun, or bright light at least. Here we have just a cutting of a Tradescantia. This one is the Quicksilver / Sana, cutting from that, which is right next to it. This is the mama plant that I took it from. I could take more cuttings because this one is very, very lanky, as you can see, in water culture. This one was in a video recently. And yeah, they do great. They're very easy. Back there you can see is a Hoya. This is Hoya Weyertii, and it's starting to come through here and make its little appearance with some aerial roots, which I don't mind. I think that's really cool looking. These leaves are so thick, they feel like plastic. All right, moving on. Back here, some more Tradescantia Blue Sioux, because I have it everywhere, like I said. This is another Plectranthus, something dentata, grande dentata, something like that. Big toothed Plectranthus, has a really interesting fragrance to it. Very soft, velvety leaves, like a lot of them have. And just in lava rock, needs to be watered, but it's not wilting yet. But of course, the reservoir is empty, so I'm gonna water it. We have a bunch of different snake plants, Sansevieria. So you can see down there, there's one. Down there, there's one that's not doing so well. This one struggles for some reason. I don't know the species of that, if it's fernwood or something like that. But we have the other ones here that do great. This one's in Leca. This one back here, this one I think is a moonshine, is in acrylic. This one is also in acrylic, looks like Xylenica. And this one's a hybrid that is in lava rock. And that one back there is also in acrylic. Look at that tall leaf, really good. All right, here we have some leaf cuttings, some babies there that I have in semi-hydro. There's one there in pon, right there, as you can see. I'm not really crazy about pon. It just gets really messy. But you know, I have it for some plants. I tested it out, and I sometimes still test it out just to see certain plants, you know, prefer certain environments. So we'll see. This is a Sedum Adolphii, or Adolphi. This is in a Kokodama. So let me lift it up so you can see. You can see that. This one gets watered maybe every couple of weeks, and it's doing good. Here we have some of the Plectranthus silvercrest that I rooted in water. This probably needs some more water because I feel like it's dry. It's very light. You can see. Gonna have to fill this one. And these guys are other ones that could just kind of live in water, and they do just fine. Here we have some more. This is a cutting, another cutting of the Pothos Glacier. Pothos. This looks like it's a cutting of the Peperomia Hope. I just have things mixed everywhere, you know what I mean? More Sansevieria back there and there, as you go right through that. All right, let's move back here. Here we have Aeschynathus tricolor. This is my lipstick plant, but the tricolor, which I love. I took a lot of cuttings of this, so I have it all over the place too, because this one's been in water for going on 2 years. Just cuttings that have started to recently, relatively recently, started branching out. They kind of acclimated and they're happy. So you can see this is a brand new branch right here, brand new stem. And it's blooming, so it's getting enough light, just barely. New stem here, new growth point here. So yes, these guys, once they get acclimated to water culture, they are fine just living that life. I mean, look at those roots. Okay, you can tell it's been in there for a while. And I love water culture. All right, next up we have one of my favorite succulents, probably my favorite succulent, is the Graptopetalum. This one has been in water culture for a very long time. Let me move out of the way. I'm sorry, guys. There you go. You see the roots have a lot of algae. Even though it's not in a lot of sunlight, there is still a lot of algae. I'm going to have to just clean that out and replace the water. The pellets are probably still in there. As you can see, I use my NutriCoat pellets in a lot of the water cultures that I grow. And they do fine. They've been doing wonderfully. Moving along, Dracaena Janet Craig, severely neglected, as you can see. It was dry for a while. That's what all these old dry leaves, I got to clear them. But the new growth is showing that I remember to water it. So I know I'm a bad plant parent. But with all these plants, of course, stuff like that happens sometimes. All right. This is not happy. It dries out way too quickly. It's in acrylic. This is the goldfish plant that I need to take out of here. Let me do that now because this plant is not really thrilled. Oh, well, let me just take out my Graptopetalum that's in acrylic. This guy is just not happy here. And it's because I am not watering it consistently enough. It dries out too quickly. So I'm probably going to put this in a bigger, like a glass, so that there's more, look at all those roots, so that there's more that I can, more moisture in there that it can continue to hydrate for a longer period of time. All right, that one's going over there. All right, and back here we have an aloe hybrid. It's just in a little Kokodama, not really in a Kokodama, it's just in moss. This is a Senecio that is severely neglected. Take those leaves off. This one's in a Kokodama. Let me get rid of those leaves though. I'm gonna clean this up. But yeah, a lot of these plants, I'm probably just gonna sell them off because I don't really have a use for them at this point. Another aloe back there, as you can see. And a little succulent back there. It looks like it's some type of a sedum, but I'm not sure the species. And another Plectranthus here. This one is the Cerveza and lime. It smells really good. It's like a limey, minty smell. I like it. That one needs to be watered. As you can see, it's letting me know. These guys get, they show signs of dehydration this way. Then you water them and they come back. Here is my Zebrina, Tradescantia zebrina. This is the purple. This is the Tradescantia zebrina, which looks purple now, but it's really the red gem. Under brighter light, it gets like a brighter coppery red color. And next to that is my pitcher plant that's going crazy, making pitchers. Here's a pitcher that's just starting to form. Just very cool. These plants are so easy. This is in semi-hydro. I have the pitcher plant in lava rock. And as long as you don't let it dry out for too long, it does fine. They're just very easy. And moving over here is some of my Catharanthus that I brought in from the summer out in front in the yard. I tied them together because they were very unruly, kind of like what I did with my Tradescantia. And it's like a little shrub now, as you can see. Kind of cool, right? And it's blooming because it's getting sun, so it just continuously blooms. Here's another one. This one I grew from seed last year. And as you can see, it got very, very spindly. It's blooming at least, but yeah, I have so many different varieties of this Catharanthus, this annual vinca. I love it. And by the way, this is my compost bin. Any dry leaves and broken twigs, whatever, I just throw in here. And I'm working on recycling it, maybe possibly making my own fertilizer, but it's not something that's a priority right now. So who knows if it'll happen or not. All right, moving along, go up here up top. This is just a Montauk daisy that I took a little cutting from. I figured, let me try rooting it, see how it does. But yeah, not really an indoor plant. More Graptopetalum. These are Graptopetalum Purple Haze. Really kind of like a smaller variety of Graptopetalum in lava rock. Here is my Purple Plush Tradescantia, just in water. These were cuttings I got in the mail, so they're pretty much just starting to root up. As you can see, they're not really huge roots there. And next to it is Evanesce, which is another variety of Tradescantia zebrina. Really cool. I love the pattern, the streaking of the green, purple, and silver. It's really cool. I like it. And the leaves are very firm in this one. I'm not sure what this is a hybrid of, but the leaves are much firmer than regular zebrina, which I have down here. Next we have the Vriesia, which I recently had in a video, Ospine Gruberi, something like that. Really pretty. Do I have water in the cup? Yes, I do. Good times, good times. It's doing well. I love the color. Moving over here, we have my Tradescantia pallida Biltmore Bimbo, also known as Cartouche Giant. It's the really, really big-leaved. You can see, look at these leaves. They're huge. Big-leaved Tradescantia pallida, which probably one of my favorite plants of all time because they grow so easy, they're beautiful, and I have them all over the place. And they propagate easy. So yeah, this one is just hanging out here right in front of the south-facing window. And moving along. Here we have another Tradescantia. I believe this is the quadricolor zebrina, which is just so beautiful. I just love the variations of the coloring on these leaves. So I had to get this. This is just cuttings that I had gotten. You can see there's a new branch growing right here. Let me zoom in. There you go. And it's just in water, getting some roots, and looking forward to it. This is some unnamed bromelia that somebody sent me as a gift when I ordered. So I don't know exactly what that is. I haven't been able to find it because it's just a plain green with spikes, and that's pretty much all of them. So I don't know what it is. It looks like a Tillandsia, but it's not. And here's another one of my Aeschynathus gracilis. This is the lipstick plant, another one of them. This one is also in soil, and it's starting to grow down here like crazy. Some leaves that I can throw in my little bin, like that. Into the bin you go. Okay, let's keep moving along here. This is another zebrina. This is the Dark Desire, I believe. Tradescantia Dark Desire. Really, really dark purple with the silver green streaks. Really pretty. Back here, I don't know what this is, some kind of succulent that I just put into acrylic, and it has gone a little bit nuts in the last few months. Not sure the name though, so I can't tell you that. Okay, down here's another Catharanthus. This is a slightly different color than the other two I just showed you. This is from outside though, as well. Next is another Sansevieria. I don't know what this one is called, but it is one of the newer hybrids that has a lot of streaking and white and cream color on it. It doesn't really grow very fast, even when you remember to water it, which of course I don't. Yeah. Next up is, this is from outside as well. This is a Plectranthus caninus. This is the one that smells like skunky. And the flowers are really pretty and they attract pollinators, so I wanted to keep it for next year, but I just cannot deal with the smell. It's kind of strong, so I keep this all the way away from everything else. And look at all the pretty lights out there from my neighbor. So I keep it away from where I normally would walk because I don't like the scent when I walk past it. Okay, this didn't make it, but this is just a weed, but it's a butterfly plant, a type of Laportia, I believe it is, which is in the nettle family, and there are some seeds in there, so I'm going to just plant the seeds for next year and attract some red admirals and other butterflies. But anyway, continuing along, we have a Neurogelia, which is in Semihydro. Looks like that's in Lekka. Another Neurogelia, I think this is some type of a tiger. It is in Lava Rock. Move this over for a minute. This is a Neurogelia, and this one I think is called Super Cherry Bomb, something like that. And it's not in any type of medium, but I just keep the cup filled with some water, which looks like it's almost out. There is some water in there, but that's all I do, and the plant is doing fine. Doesn't need any roots, actually. Behind it is another type of Neurogelia. Same thing there. Lots of Neurogelias here. This is a Tradescantia Nanook. I really liked this one because it has a lot of grayish, like where that green and the white kind of meld together. So I kind of liked it. So I said, oh, I'll just buy this little one just to have it. Yeah. Back there is, looks like a miniature or small variety of pineapple. So it's a bromeliad back there, but it's not really doing too much. Very slow grower. And I need to remember to water it more. Yeah. Here is, I think this was in a video too. This is a Pallida, a Tradescantia Purple Heart, but a different variety from the ones that I have. This one has broader leaves, and my other Pallida have much narrower leaves. So I said, let me get that because it may just be a different strain, you know, of the Pallida. All right, and sad news here. These are the 2 experiments that I was working on. Let me get rid of this receipt here. You don't need to see this. All right. These were the variegated Purple Heart, the pink stripe, that I was separating the totally pink stems that were growing, the little sports. And one of them sprouted up a new growth, but the leaves just cannot hold on because there's not enough green, which is typical of a lot of highly variegated plants. They're very weak. This one's holding on, but still, it's not doing great. One is in Lava Rock, one is in acrylic. Both are being fed nutrients with Nutricoat, but doesn't matter what you feed them. If they don't have enough green, enough chlorophyll to make their food, those vitamins aren't going to do much. Okay. More Neurogelia. This is a cherry bomb. Really pretty. I like how that one's branching out. Another Neurogelia back there. And there. And there. And these. And then we get back to my Graptopetalum. That's a Graptopetalum there. And there's a Graptopetalum there. They're both in acrylic. And here we have some of the Brevifolia cuttings. This is the Green Queen Tradescantia. Just some cuttings in water. They rooted up really well. Now they're starting to grow. I put in some Nutricoat, so they're happy. Gonna transfer them to a bigger vessel as soon as they start to grow a little bit more. Alrighty. This is, I think this is Cristata. This is a succulent. I'm so out of succulents for a while. But yeah, this little area here is probably more succulents than anything else. But, oh, look at that. You've seen this from recently. That's the Graptopetalum, the variegated Graptopetalum. Alrighty. So yeah, these are Echeveria. I believe it's Echeveria cristata. Very slow grower, but beautiful. I just really love it. It's in acrylic. And we have some other Echeverias here growing in Lekka. This is Semihydro. So you can see it's doing well. Looks like a little tree. I love those aerial roots. Really cool. This is another Plectranthus. I think it's an Alba marginata. I'm not sure of the species, but it has a really fruity scent to it, so the leaves smell really nice. So I have this one out in the open. And some more Graptopetalum in water culture. Graptopetalum in a little bit of soil, a little pot. What's back there? Peanut cactus, just kind of existing. That's a Firestorm sedum. I believe that this is a Graptosedum Vera Higgins, I think, or California Sunset, I'm not sure. Another Echeveria. There's a Hoya. Can't remember the name of that one though. That one came with a bunch of stems and they all did not make it. So I transferred that one into acrylic and it seems to be doing better now. Yeah, but I can't remember the name of it. There's an Echeveria there. Okay, moving along. Oh, here is a Catharanthus. This is another vinca, annual vinca that has, I'm treating it for spider mites. That's why some of these leaves are drying up, because I'm continuously spraying this with alcohol. I think I've gotten it under control, but I'm going to continue to keep spraying this. This has beautiful, big, dark purple blooms. And I think this one's going to bloom right here very soon. Can't wait. But yeah, seed pods. So I'm going to plant the seeds when they mature. So I'll have extra. But yeah, that one, when it recovers, I'll probably do videos so you guys can see. It's just beautiful, beautiful plant. And we have here some, yep, that's the Vicks plant. Very strong Vicks fragrance. Just some cuttings and water. Moving along, we've got a, what is this? This is not a Nerogelia. This is a Bilbergia Hallelujah. That's what this is. It's really interesting bromeliad. This one doesn't grow very quickly, so I'm just kind of having it for just to have it. We have a Coleus here, Bonnie Gold, really pretty, living in acrylic. Got some pups growing off, some new growth points, and it's in a self-watering container. But yes, it is in acrylic. Some air plants here, some Tillandsia, different ones. They get sprayed with water every couple days. Cryptanthus right over there. Some more Bilbergias there and there. A beautiful Cryptanthus right here. This is Betty. Can't remember the last name, but a lot of people just call it Cryptanthus Betty. Beautiful, beautiful. This one has pupped. It must have already bloomed, so it pupped, and there's a bunch of large pups. I'm just gonna let this cluster. Very pretty. Moving over here. This is porterweed, but this is the red flowering variety. This is really for the outdoors for spring and summer, for butterflies, because I love my butterflies. So the flowers are very good for pollinators. So we're gonna have that grow out, and it'll go, it's already growing a lot since I got it. So avocado tree here from a pit that I planted, doing well. That's in soil and a self-watering. Here's the Hoya Australis Lisa you guys have seen if you've been following. That's been in waterculture for a couple years now. It's bloomed once for me in waterculture, and it's doing well. Some Graptopetalum that are in waterculture. I need to top that up. They're doing just fine. Back here is the Aeschylanthus, the mother plant of the tricolor. And you can see we've got flowers right here. Very cool. It's by the window, by the south-facing window, so it's doing great. All right, Nerogelia here. It's just kind of existing, nothing great. Hoya curtisii right here. And then the Black Pagoda Aeschylanthus lipstick plant back there. One in waterculture and one in acrylic. And this is another Aeschylanthus. I think it's the orange blooming variety. So there's some green leaves of it there. Up here is my Hoya multiflora, and it's getting ready to bloom. That peduncle is getting prepared. This one is in the original pot that I bought it in, except I added a like a string or yarn to the bottom to make it self-watering, and I added fertilizer, and of course this plant just continues to bloom nonstop. Back here, this is one of my angel wing begonias that always defoliates. Don't know why. I really don't know why. One of the branches is doing great, has nice leaves and everything. This one, I don't know what's going on. And this has been on and off like that for quite some time. I don't know. I've had it for a couple of years and it just does this. I don't know why. Up here on the piano, yes, I said that on the piano. This is some type of a Asclepiadae. It's something in the milkweed family that doesn't have any leaves, and it's really nothing to look at, just a bunch of stems. Hoya, which you guys have seen recently in waterculture. Some more Tradescantia pallida Blue Sue. Blue Sue, Blue Sue. This is Purple Heart in waterculture, really nice long one, but it's not purple because it's not getting a lot of light. Here's some more Blue Sues. Can you tell I love Blue Sue? And over here we have that Hoya that was in a recent video in waterculture. These leaves grow so much faster in water than they do in any medium that I've had Hoya in. Like these were tiny little leaves, and now they're like, boom, huge. Doing great in water culture. Another Quicksilver Tradescantia right there. Purple fuzzy cuttings in water. Nice roots. This is another Biltmore Bimbo / Cartouche Giant, the large leaved Purple Heart. These are cuttings. Well, this one is a cutting. It was a full plant that I took the cutting off of because it was really brittle. And I just stuck it in, and we've got new growth and everything. Another Purple Heart, that's the color. And you see how narrow these leaves are compared to the other ones I showed you? Much narrower, right? Pink Stripe. This is the variegated variety that I took those experiments, those 2 cuttings of the pure pink leaves. Yeah. And a bigger plant of the Green Queen brevifolia, Tradescantia brevifolia. This one's doing great. I decided it was in water. First it was in soil, then it was in water. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna just put it in moss. Much easier, right? And the moss does great. They're great to propagate in moss, but they also love growing in it. So there you have it. Okay, next tier, we have another Purple Heart because I can't do without having millions of them. This one is in water culture. It's been in water for quite some time. You can see in there. And over here we have a Peperomia caperata. This one I always forget about, so let's see. Yeah, this is ready for watering. Needs to be watered. This is my variegated Hoya obovata. You can see it has dried out to the point where it got some dry patches, but I'm back on it. It's in acrylic. I'm waiting for some new growth. It's taking its sweet time. Okay, up here we just have some knickknacks. So this is some type of a Hoya. This is a coleus that I keep watering, but it's drying up too quickly. So I'm gonna have to figure something out with that one. This is what is this? Cotyledon. This is some type of a cotyledon succulent. I just have it in acrylic, and it's really, really green and kind of rubbery because it's not getting any light. It's all shaded out by the rest of these guys, which we'll get to in a minute. And Kalanchoe, purple scallop, I believe, just in water culture, kind of hanging out. And also here, this is a string of turtles, a rogue string of turtles that just happen to be growing out of a water culture thing up here. I think this is Tradescantia spathaceae, something like that. Variegated aloe down here, not sure of the type. And this I thought was monkey tail cactus, but apparently it's not. It doesn't have long enough hairs, but the hairs aren't really painful or anything. So I'm not sure what that is. If you know what that is, please let me know. I mean, it almost could be like a peanut cactus, but it grows really long. That's why I thought it was like a monkey tail, but who knows? All right, we have some more Purple Heart here. This is one of the mamas that I take cuttings from quite often. It's in acrylic in a self-watering container, and it is just doing great. When it gets a little bit too long, that's when I say, oh, crunchy leaf. That's when I say, all right, cutting time. Gonna make some babies. Let me take that off. Yeah, so that's that one. Up here, I just took cuttings off of the ends of these guys. This is more of the Pale Puma / Purple Fuzzy. You can see there's new growth up here. Really, really cool. These are just so easy. These plants are so easy, and they're soft, and they're pretty. This is the cutting that I took off of the Angel Wing Begonia that I just showed you before in the beginning of this. This is the long cutting that I took from it. So it's just rooting up in water. A little Discidia here needs to be watered. That is a Graptopetalum. What is that? Let me see if I can find. I think the name is underneath it. I usually put the names underneath, but this, oh no, it's on the side. It's Graptopetalum Murasaki. There we go. In water, doing great. Look at those roots. Gonna have to flush that out, but just got some new growth as well. Here is the Golden Gate Peperomia. Peperomia obtusifolia, I believe. And it is Golden Gate, which is a beautiful. These are just cuttings that I took off the top of the plants, and they rooted really well, so I just keep them in water. Probably gonna sell them off because I don't really need them. And yes, that's right, another Purple Heart that's trailing all the way down here. In the middle of the Purple Heart, there's one Pale Puma in this one pot. I don't know how that happened. I must have just put it in with the other ones, not realizing because it was young that it was not the same. But that's okay, I don't mind. I could tell the difference now when looking at it, right? And right over here, this is ruby, a piece of ruby, string of rubies, or what is that called? Ruby necklace, that's what it is. Succulent, not in a lot of light, so it does not have a lot of color, but that's what that is. And the mother cutting, I call it a mother cutting because it's not a really plant. Mother cutting is down here. It's been in water ever since I got it a while ago. I don't even know how long it's been. But that's that. We have a succulent back there, some type of Echeveria, I think. Very forgotten. Everything that's out of sight gets easily forgotten. I got to get better with that. And there's a Thanksgiving cactus that has not bloomed for me this year, which is fine. Whatever. And some extra leca back there. All right, let's see. Where else do we have to go? Oh, let's go up here. Okay, this is a Tradescantia, and I don't know the variety because it looks like a hybrid between the Purple Heart and the Blue Sioux. It's got like a lot of purple on it, but it grows differently. It just grows differently. Usually when I have one of these plants, they don't grow off of the bare stem. They don't grow new growth. It's not common. This one, as soon as you cut, even when I didn't cut, when I started defoliating some of it, of the old leaves, it started to sprout in the nodes, which is really interesting, and I like that because it fills out the plant, and you don't have to worry about cutting the whole thing back because it grows like up here, new growth points there, and it's really kind of pretty. These are old leaves, that's why they're yellowish. I'm not going to remove them until they absorb most of it back into itself, but yeah, the regular color, especially when it's in the sun, is really beautiful. It's almost like a deep green with purple highlights, something like that. Over here we have, believe it or not, that's a Graptopetalum. I can't remember the species name, but it is very unusual. It almost looks like a sedum. Let me focus on that for you. But it's doing great. It's in acrylic, and it's hanging in the south-facing window. Here is this once was a star, but I've cut it back a lot. You have new growth growing. This is the Silvercrest Plectranthus, and blooms constantly. As you can see over here, there's another flower spike that I didn't get to remove. This is gonna go out for the butterflies as well in the summer. All right, up here we have the Sedum burrito, doing fantastic up here. And surprisingly, when I touch it, the leaves don't fall off. I guess it's happy. And that's just in regular soil up there. And you can see me. Hi. All right, here's my air plant little display. They're all hanging from yarn. And this one was very cool. This was just a single Ioantha plant. Ioantha, I'm not sure what. I think it's Ioantha. And it grew 2 pups. So I'm gonna grow this as a cluster. It takes a while though. And the rest of these, they just get sprayed a few times a week. Whenever I walk past, I usually spray them. And they're pretty healthy. I mean, this one's starting to lose some leaves, but look at the new leaves. Looks like Medusa. It's a Medusae, so that makes sense. Another Ioantha. Yep, so a bunch of them here with some Spanish moss. Spanish moss never does well for me, especially indoors. So I'm expecting these to dry up and die soon. But yeah, so that's that. Boom, we move over here. This is another lipstick plant, but this is the pink flowering Aeschylanthus. So I'm excited to see that once it blooms. Has not bloomed for me yet. All right, let's see what else we can show you. We went through all that. I guess that's it for now, guys. So when I pull back, you can see, the full story here. Ta-da! Let me focus for you so you can see better. There you go. That's the bay or the bow window. And then we started over here with this plant rack, right? The Catharanthus down there blooming. Back over here. And yeah, here we are, right where we started. I don't think I mentioned this one. I'm realizing when I walked past it. This was featured in a video. This is another Cryptanthus that I was debating if I should remove the pups, but I kept them, and it's still a big, beautiful plant. Doing great with all the pups. And that's it. So if you have any questions on any of these plants or how I'm growing them, or if you want to yell at me for forgetting to water some of them because they're out of my sight, feel free. Leave a comment and we'll discuss. Yeah, if you have any questions about water culture, one of my favorite growing methods, we can talk about that as well, because I've been able to get it down to almost a science for me, where everything does pretty well. Everything that I put in water culture does pretty well. Of course, I still do experiments. Some plants just don't like it, just like some plants don't like heavy soils or clay soils. They like it more airy. Everything has its preference, but that's why I have this channel, so I can figure those things out for myself and for anybody that's interested. So there you have it. If you have any questions, reach out. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, guys. It doesn't cost you anything. And this way you'll be alerted anytime I want to show my crazy face or my crazy hands. Yeah, hit that bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.